Good morning. Welcome back to SBJ Weekend Review. Sorry for the there. I guess Dad didn't know we were getting started.
He pushed the button. I wasn't ready.
We apologize that there wasn't an episode last week. Somebody forgot to bring the podcast equipment to Florida. We were going to have Grandpa as a special guest, but like I said, somebody forgot to bring the stuff, so we were unprepared. Don't know who that person was, but we're very disappointed in them.
Starts with a K, ends with a Keagan.
That's me. I forgot. And so one day we will have Grandpa on the pod. It's just not this week. But we're back. We're back in town. We have a lot of stuff to go over today, so it might be a little bit of a longer episode because we're going to also squeeze in a top 5 that has been requested here at the end. How we doing this morning, Chad?
A little cold all of a sudden. I don't know why I wasn't cold until you said you were cold, and then now I'm cold. But other than that, I'm doing good. My heel is hurting me this morning from last night's activities. We're going to talk more about that later, I am sure. But other than that, I feel great and glad to be back at work, be back in town, and back to my normal Monday morning routine. So that part, all that's really good. So
we spent the last week in Florida at my grandpa's house in Leesburg, Florida. Was spring break, I guess it would be.
Spring break, yep. Celebrate.
Had a nice, relaxing week. We had all these big plans that got kind of ruined due to some rain that was going on the whole time we were there. But we got to play some golf at Orange County National with Grandpa, which is always a great time.
Yep.
Dad played phenomenal.
I actually, for me, played pretty good.
Played pretty solid.
Pretty good.
My drives were awful, but other than that, it played pretty decent. Had some great putts. We all don't care about that.
Orange County National is a beautiful golf course. I mean, It is just absolutely a gorgeous place to play golf.
Anytime a golf course has the word
supporting them today. So.
Anytime a golf course has the word national in it,
I guess
it's usually pretty solid. Live Golf plays through there if you know who that is. Speaking of golf, Masters just wrapped up. Did you finish the rest of it?
I did.
How about it?
So, a lot of people are down on Rory, and that's fine if you don't like McIlroy. But here's the cool thing. He's just done something history-wise, right? I mean, only 3 or 4 other guys have ever repeated. So I would be interested to see if he could do it a third time and break all kinds of records.
Be the only person to ever do that.
I think so.
I don't have an issue with Rory winning. I think a lot of people are just upset because they want it to be an American winning.
Well, I get that.
But, I think good for him. I would have liked Spieth to do it, but...
Spieth, yep.
Spieth and Scheffler Spieth just has had a rough go for a while now. Scheffler's having a bad year. Yeah. And when those two guys are out, why not Rory? Who cares?
Well, and it was a lot of fun. There at the end, it was kind of anticlimactic, but leading into Sunday, all these guys had moved up to the leaderboard.
I mean, Cam Young came out of nowhere.
Yeah, Rory had a terrible third day, Saturday, just didn't do really good, and so man, it was really fun to watch. I watched it last night. After we got home from our evening activities. And, it was good. I didn't think it was going to be as good. But if you like golf, and a lot of people are like, I can't believe you sit there and watch golf on TV, and I get that too. What I have found is it's a great time to take a nap. And
you sleep so good. I really only watch the majors.
Yeah, well, I don't hardly ever.
Every now and then I throw on the other stuff, but
yeah.
Good week for golf. Spurs fell short to the Nuggets again last night. Makes me worried for playoffs. I guess we can start adding a sports recap.
Well, we like our sports for sure.
Our Longhorn softball ladies took down Oklahoma in Game 3.
Hook 'em.
Forgot her name, but she had a walk-off home run there in the end, and it was electric. So shout out the Horns.
There we go.
There's not really any other sports going on. The Rangers are not that great, I think.
They're not?
I haven't been watching, but I assume they're not that great. I missed the last few Bruins games.
We did watch a lot of Red Sox this past week, being at my father-in-law's house. He's a big Boston Red Sox fan. And
speaking of having rough years,
I learned more about the Boston Red Sox than I think I wanted to know. But, it was good. And
but I mean, other than watching sports, playing golf, we really did a whole lot of just napping. We played some electric water basketball, me and Dad duking it out. He ended up winning it all. I won the first day we did game 1. I won that game. Then the next day he won 2 games in a row to seal it. So that was disappointing. But then other than that, all we did was we turkey hunted. We got to hunt Osceola turkeys for the first time, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah. it was good. We had a good time.
Got nothing to show for it, but we had a blast. I think the way I've been looking at it is, if you would have killed the bird, we would have had a cool memory.
Yeah.
Missing the bird, now we have a funny memory, and I think a funny memory is worth more.
Only at my expense, though.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's a story I'll look back on for a while and be like, man, that was awesome.
In disgust. And
but nothing we can do about it now but laugh.
No, and but it was really neat to see you call in them turkeys, and we're trying to get better on calling and setting up and making for sure we're in the right spot, and so all that's a learning curve for us because we're so new at turkey hunting, and I feel like we did everything except for kill the bird. So everything
it turns out I am a professional turkey caller. I am. The first day called 1 in, the second day called 2 in to 30 yards, which pretty solid work there by old Keagan Holsey.
Yeah.
Not a bad first go at calling in birds. So I'm pretty stoked about how that went. For me, as far as I'm concerned, I did the hunt. I got 2 birds in.
Well, our problem was we'd never been on the property. We get there that first morning, it's pitch black dark. And we're just trying to figure out where's going to be a good place to set up. We don't have any clue.
Kind of hard to pick a good place when it's pitch black. You can't see anything.
You've never seen the property. You don't know the layout. You don't know nothing about it. You're just shooting in the dark. And I think our first morning setup, we did really good for not knowing, And so we brought that turkey.
And we picked such a good spot that we went back there the next day.
Yeah. And that's where we were able to call in. We went right straight back there. So, but it was good. Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity. I'm thankful for the folks who allowed us to go and be on their property and try to take advantage of that. We did not take advantage of it, but maybe next time. And we're already planning our next Florida Osceola turkey hunting. And if you're from Florida and you're listening and you have a place that you'd be okay for me and Keagan to go,
or if you know somebody in Florida that could hook us up, we bought a year-long license.
Yeah,
and
we were
I would
forced
hate
to buy
to see that go
license.
to waste. So if you have an opportunity for us, there is a fall season. We'd love to take advantage of that. So holler at
Christmas.
us.
Yeah, November.
We're looking for any handouts possible. Shout out Uncle Brandon for the one opportunity that's already gone. But
yeah. Hopefully we'll get another.
Well, and that was a good week. When we came back Saturday night, we didn't do anything. Sunday morning, we're going to jump into that.
Yeah.
I forgot to look over what we were talking about in Sunday school to remind myself for this. I was more worried about our top 5.
Gotcha.
But we're back in the full swing of things. We had a normal Sunday.
It was nice. Our numbers were a little low still because it was the end of spring break. But, man, I just anticipate the next several weeks those numbers heading in the right direction. So, which they weren't bad. It's funny what I say is, numbers weren't that good as, 2 years ago I'd have killed for those numbers. So it's kind of funny how your perspective changes on that, where you're like, man, we only had, 50. Like we only had 180, 190 people, bummer. And when 2 years ago I'd have been like, man, that's the greatest day ever, So I think that's just part of perspective. I'm grateful. We had that back left corner was packed, man. You couldn't have put another person in there. But then we had some other empty holes, and
we went from this building is way too big for us to now, hey, we're kind of getting close to running out of space.
Getting kind of full. Yeah, getting kind of full. So, but anyhow, Sunday school, we talked about, we're still on that subject, not letting the enemy have a seat at your table. And the whole concept or idea is this table's been set by God, and he wants you to come sit down and feast with him and just have a relationship with him and grow in that, and it to be intimate and to be really good. And then we have this enemy that's always trying to sit down at the table. He's always trying to get in and always trying to be a part. And then we just discussed the different ways in which or different 4 ways that that the enemy has a seat at your table, and so we discussed those, and 2 weeks ago we were only able to get through 2 of them. Then we got through the other 2 yesterday, and then we just discussed what are some ways that you let the enemy, or that you see the enemy sneaking in and getting in. And of course, one of those is just he's really good at getting us busy, and he's really good at getting in our mindset, the way we think. one of the things is everybody's against me and nobody likes me kind of deal, and that's where the enemy takes root in our mind and in the way we think, and of course all these concepts are just the way we think. The first one is the grass is greener somewhere else on the other side or whatever, and we're not going to make it. We're not good enough. I'm not good enough to do this. This is I don't have the ability or whatever. And then the other one is nobody likes us, and I'm not liked by anybody. And I used to really struggle with that when I was younger. I didn't feel like anybody liked me, and I was one of those that I was a people pleaser. I wanted everybody to like me, and I would work really, really hard, and if I didn't get the right response or whatever, my thought was, well, they don't like me, and the reality is, whether they like you or don't like you, I don't know. To me, I think as I get older, I still want people to like me, but I'm not gonna, be upset or lose sleep, knowing that there's going to be some folks that just don't like you in this world. And sadly, I don't know what's not to like, though. I'm the greatest person ever. So, which is kind of a crazy thought, right? That nobody would like me. But they say 20% of everybody there's 20%. You take all the people in the world, 20% of them, for whatever reason, doesn't like you. So, as long as you're not being a jerk, as long as you're not being an awful person, as long as you're not treating people bad, you're still going to have some people that don't like you. And I think what it is it's a personality. Personalities are just different, and the way people think and who they are. And what I come to find out is people that I really don't get along well with. Not that I hate them or not that I dislike them. We just don't get along well. It's just a personality deal. We're just different personalities. And I can name people, but that'd probably hurt people's feelings. But there are folks that we just don't really mesh well. And what I think it boils down to is just personality. Their personality is different from mine, and we don't gel well together. But in all that, the devil gets in and he sidetracks us with our relationship with God. With this extracurricular stuff, and the whole point is when you're sitting at this table, that table should be just you and him, and no one else should be allowed at the table. But how quickly and how easily the devil or the enemy gets at the table and interrupts. It's kind of like you having a conversation with somebody, and you've probably done it around here at the church. You're having a conversation with somebody, and you're in the middle of a conversation, and they're talking to you, and then someone comes up out of nowhere and goes, "Hey, Keagan," while you're in the middle of that conversation. I'm sure it's happened a couple times.
Every week.
Yeah, every week. And so, that's that concept. Here you are. You're supposed to be focused on God, focused on that relationship, and then now you have somebody going, "Hey, Keagan," hey, and so that in and of itself can derail what God has, so now the focus, you were in the middle of this really good conversation, and now the focus changes, and not that it's bad, but that's not where the focus was supposed to be. So that's the same way with the Lord and our relationship with God. And the Bible says He prepareth the table before us, set at the table before us in the presence of our enemy, and find that in Psalms 23. And but I think we forget that Satan's trying to derail that. Another way is he keeps us really busy, and man, we can be super, super busy. It's interesting. We can be so busy, and because we're so busy, typically, not everybody, but typically, a lot of people, when things get busy, the first thing that they set aside is church. They set aside the Bible. They set aside their prayer time. So you see where Satan wins in getting us busy. He's really good at getting us busy. And then when we're busy, we give up the most important things that should be. And that's our time with the Lord, our time at the table. So anyhow, so that's what we're talking about at Sunday school. Next week, I think we're going to have a missionary during Sunday school. But then the next week, we're going to talk about the Satan or the enemy with your brain, what's happening with your mindset, because really that's the big thing. And when I talk about one of my books, it's one of those things that they don't know that it's your books. Thinking process. Oh, our top 5. Anyhow, you don't know that yet, so pretend, just erase that. But anyhow, yeah. So just what you're thinking, and man, your stinking thinking can really mess up a lot of things. So
well, my Sunday school, we were in Ecclesiastes chapter 2. Kind of continuing the thing we started the week before Easter. He's kind of just on the same kind of on the same thing as he was chapter 1, but goes a little bit deeper with it. One of the first things we talked about, you read where he says, you work hard, you gather up all these things. We have these earthly desires that we pursue and we chase. We have these goals and we accumulate all this stuff, and then we die, and it just gets passed to somebody else who didn't work for it, who didn't earn it. And he basically, the point he was kind of making is we waste away our lives pushing after collecting all these things, and it just gets handed to somebody else. And he's kind of saying, so why would we waste so much energy and time and effort pursuing after these things that we can't even take with us? Of course, before that, he's still on this all is vanity, everything's meaningless spiel. And then the next kind of thing we talked about, he goes in talking about all the things that he has. And so we kind of went pretty deep with breaking down actually how much stuff he had. There's that verse that says, I've bought slaves, had slaves be born in my house. I have the biggest herd that anybody's ever had. He's got so much money. We talked about how much money like it actually would be in today's dollars, which I don't have written down, but it's pretty mind-blowing. He has 700 wives, 300 concubines, like just lists all this stuff, and says, yet it's all meaningless. And then he talks about all these projects that he's taken on, all these buildings that he's built. His house took 13 years to build. We talked about how in comparison the temple took 7 years. He talks about these pools that he's made, that he uses to water the gardens, which are still standing to this day. Did you see his pools while you were in Israel? Mm-hmm. So that's pretty cool. So that's still standing today. We talked about that for a little bit, but then he says all these projects and stuff, everything that is done apart from God is worthless. It's meaningless. There's no value. There's no fulfillment in it. And so we talked about how there's things that we can pursue in life. We can have these goals and aspirations that aren't inherently bad, but they can take the place of where God should be seated. And kind of talking about, for me personally, how much more fulfillment I've gotten out of life working here at the church instead of pursuing my welding career. And I tried to explain to him, that's not to say, do you need to take that?
I don't know.
Were you not just on the phone with him?
Yeah.
Shoot him a text, tell him you're filming the pod, you'll call him in a second.
Just pause it. Hit pause.
That makes it an editing nightmare. Sorry, we're back.
We're back, baby.
Dad got a call from the guy that's hooking us up with the property for the men's retreat, but we're back. I was saying all this stuff. What I was trying to explain to them, though, is that's not to say that if you're not living or pursuing a job that's in ministry that it's meaningless, but to be intentional about making sure where you're at, what career you're pursuing, is what God's will for your life. God's will for your life may not be working in a church or being a missionary or doing something, but he has a specific role for you wherever you are placed. I was telling somebody asked what I do for work. Somebody that was intertwined with my friend group at camp, and I said, I'm in full-time ministry. And he said, well, we're Christians. We're all in full-time ministry. And that was kind of like okay. kind of like excuse me. Now it seems like I came across all cocky, but that's the truth. No matter if you're working in a church or you're a missionary or something like that, or working some kind of secular job, we're all in full-time ministry. We all have a responsibility no matter where we're placed. So I was trying to make the point of that's what I'm saying isn't to say that you have to be working in some kind of ministry or what's the word, vocational ministry.
Yeah.
But you have to, it's important that you're being intentional on, I'm going to take this job because I've prayed about it and I feel like this is where God wants me to go, and not, I'm going to take this job because of the earthly desires that I think it will bring me. And instead of looking at it for personal gain, looking at it is this what God has me going? And all of your decisions should be sought out through prayer and being intentional, making sure God's kind of guiding that. So that's kind of the point we were making with that, and that's pretty much all we talked about. I kind of went on that topic for a very long time. That's pretty much all he's saying is he's kind of getting to the end of this experiment where he's looking into all these different things and trying to figure out where happiness and fulfillment comes from, and he's starting to get to this conclusion of anything apart from God is meaningless and it's worthless if it's not what God has intentionally placed in my path. it's not what God's pushed me towards, then it's not worth it. It's not worth the time, not worth the energy. There's no happiness, there's no fulfillment that comes out of it, and any earthly desire that you pursue. One, it doesn't bring fulfillment, and two, when you die, you don't take it with you. It just gets passed on to somebody else who didn't work near as hard as you to earn it. And so that's where we're at. Moving on through Ecclesiastes.
Well, and I think that's where the devil comes in and he lies to you. It says you have to have all this stuff.
Yeah.
And Solomon's going, hey, man, I did it, and you don't. What matters is your relationship with the Lord ultimately. But we believe that lie of the devil. That's where he comes in and gets a seat at your table, right? Where he comes in and says, the grass is greener. You do need to do this. You're missing out if you don't, and that kind of stuff. When Solomon, I mean, he's a perfect example that says, hey, man, that ain't how it works. There's a better way. And, of course, the only way for that fulfillment, the only way to fulfill that whole, those desires and those needs is through God and God alone. So I think that's really, really good.
Yep.
So in the main service, we started a series on Amazing Grace, and we looked at saving grace and just simply how it's a free gift. And it's available to everyone, and it's available. You have to receive it by faith, and you have to. And of course, Jesus is the one that paid the price. The reason why Jesus, people say, well, why Jesus? Well, because he's the only one that could pay that price. He's the only one that could pay that penalty, and he's the one that paid for our sins. So that's why Jesus, and he's the one. The good thing is it's available to everyone for whosoever, and so that's a really, really good thing. And then just the fact that it's ours to accept, and it's an eternal deal. It isn't just for here on earth. If it's just here for on earth, the Bible says, what a waste. But it's for all eternity, that you may have everlasting life, it says. And so it lasts through this world that we know, all the way up to heaven. And so we just talked about saving grace, and we'll look more into grace as we continue on the next 3 weeks. But it's all about, we feel like we need to start with saving grace, because that's where it all starts. You have to receive that free gift. God's given us a gift, and we've got to receive it by faith and realize that Jesus is the only way. It's available to everyone, and so it was good. It worked out well. This was the first time I felt like my second time to preach it was better than my first time. Typically, I feel like with the first group, it was the best, and then not so good the second time. And I felt like it was opposite this week for whatever reason.
Well, good.
But anyhow, it was good, and people, pre-responded. Of course, it would have been better if someone would have been saved, but I feel like it was a good thing. I think for us Christians, we sometimes forget God's amazing grace. We take it for granted, and especially after you've been saved for a while. And hopefully this series of lessons, this series of sermons will help us rekindle and remember, how amazing this grace is, and of course we started with saving grace, and I'm thankful for his grace that,
well, there's that quote that says you should never grow numb to the magnificence of your salvation.
Yes.
That thing's pretty solid.
But yet so many people have, so that's where I'm hoping, some people go, well, why are you going over this? Most of the people in our church already know that. Most of the people in the church are already saved. I said, but sometimes I think we've grown numb, or we've taken it for granted, or we've not just, we've just gotten busy and not thinking about.
Complacent.
Yeah, complacent, absolutely. And so hopefully people will hear and see and go, hey man, that's you're right. And so, other than someone not being saved, I felt like Sunday went super well. A really decent crowd for being the end of spring break, and just a really, really good day after a long week. I think the worst part is the 7-hour drive home on Saturday and then do church on Sunday. I think that part's pretty hard. But other than that, it went really well. It was a good day. And a couple of visitors and some people we haven't seen in a very long time were at church, and super excited about that. It was just a good day. Yeah, it was a good day. So,
yeah, well, I know you said it's going to be we have a lot to talk about, but we're only at 25 minutes. Was there stuff that you wanted to talk about that we didn't get to touch on?
Well, you skipped through the turkey hunting and the golfing faster than I thought we would, but that's fine. I think we're doing great.
What was there to break down on golfing?
Nothing. I was great, and you weren't. That's all we didn't break down.
I did good. It was just the tee shots. Actually, through the first 4 hole, we were doing. By the way, Alex hasn't swung a golf club in 2 years, so I was already. And I'm out of me, you, and Grandpa. I'm the worst out of the 3 of us.
But you play more than me and Alex do.
That's not. I've played twice this year.
I played 0.
Either way, I play like once every 2 months throughout the season.
Right. I would like for us to play once a week.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I'd like to at least go to the range once a week.
Nah.
Because playing once a week's kind of pricey sometimes. But anyways,
go to Arrowhead for $35.
So I get put, not Arrowhead. Yes. No. Yes. I don't know. Well, I get put with Alex, which is already not fair.
That was your choice.
No, it was not.
No.
We were walking to the carts, and Grandpa said, "Put their bags in that cart. Put his bag with me." To the cart boy.
Yeah.
So what? Nobody's choice but Grandpa's.
There you go.
Arguably the best golfer there gets to pick.
By far, but he plays golf more than any of us.
Garbage, in my opinion, just garbage. But through the first 4 holes.
So we were doing a 2-man scramble.
Through the first 4 holes.
Me and Grandpa against
we were winning.
These 2 guys.
We were taking Alex's tee shot, and then I was taking it from there because he actually doesn't have that bad of a drive. It's actually pretty decent. And then I would get us on the green and put it in, and we had a great thing going because my biggest issue is I can't get off the tee box, but I can do pretty much everything else. So when I'm looking for a scramble partner, all I need you to do is drive. And he was doing that for those first 4 holes, and we were winning by 2 strokes, I believe.
Sure.
What do you mean, sure?
I don't remember. I just knew. I knew
we were up by 2 strokes.
I knew it was just a matter of time before the implosion took place.
We were winning by 2 strokes, and I knew it would. My goal was to get. I was hoping we would somehow pull it off, and my goal was just to talk a ton of trash to try it. I was trying to anger Grandpa. Was my goal. So those first 4 holes, I said a lot. I said a lot of stuff.
Yep.
And then he said plenty of golf left to be played.
Yep.
By hole 6, they were winning. They hit the putt that had them up a stroke, and then I looked at Grandpa and I said, plenty of golf left to be played. And although, yes, that was true, it did not matter. I think from that point on, y'all just kept going and going and going.
We were just getting warmed up.
It got to where Alex wasn't doing tee shots, and so we were already starting pretty far back. So I basically, after the first 4 holes, it was me versus y'all 2, which is so not fair at all. The 2 best guys against the second to worst guy. Not a good look. So I'm not ashamed or embarrassed that I lost. I feel like I had no chance of winning. I had 0 partner through the last several holes. It hurts to be up like that and think like, oh, he's going to carry me through.
Well, it was silly to think that, I think.
Well, he tricked me. Those first 4 holes, I thought he was actually decent.
Here we go.
So, but I'm hoping to get back out golf soon. I think me and Tucker are going to play next Saturday.
Nice.
Going to try to play with Trent again soon. Trent Lunn, he's a beast. But anyways, that was golf. The turkey story, y'all have heard most of it. But basically, we get there. We found 2 really good spots, and we both decided we're going to split up.
This was the second day.
So we can cover more ground and have a better shot at seeing something. And so Dad's going to go left. I'm going right. I take off. It's pitch black again. I'm almost to the spot, and I hear something walking behind me. Now, I've just heard Grandpa tell me all kinds of crazy stories of him seeing bobcats and gators and panthers and all this stuff, rattlesnakes. So I'm immediately thinking I'm in danger. Something's coming up behind me quick. So I aggressively turn around. What did I say?
What are you doing? Or something like that.
Yeah, I was freaked out. I was really freaked out. You know, anytime, if you've ever been hunting, whether you're walking to the stand or walking to your spot for turkey hunting, when you're walking in the pitch black in the woods,
it can get creepy.
You hear some stuff that you're not used to hearing, and you're all alone. And yes, you have a gun, but you can't see where you're shooting. So I turn around, and it's Dad, and I was like, what the heck are you doing over here? And he said, he was like, I'm going to hunt with you. And I was like, all right. So we set up. When I do my first call, I got here gobbled to my right, here a couple. There's like kind of at an angle to my front left, and then one that's to my left. And so I just started putting on a master class of calling. You know, I'm laying it down. Nobody's heard calls this good. And, man, they're just hitting off. I don't know what happened to the one on the right. Guess he probably got henned up.
I don't know what happened to him
because I never heard him again.
I never heard him to begin with.
I heard him immediately, and then I never heard him again.
Wow.
So then I hear these two every time I'm calling. They're going back, and we're talking for 20 minutes. We're having a conversation. We're discussing things.
You're flirting.
Yeah. I don't like that.
Whispering sweet nothings.
Yeah. So I'm telling them exactly what they're wanting to hear, and they're loving it. And they're getting closer and closer. They get to where they're about 100 yards. I can barely see them through the fog, and then they turn around, and then they leave.
And I was like, I never even saw him in the fog. I just was like, the next time he gobbled, you could barely hear him. Oh, they're leaving.
And so this was basically what happened the first day. We got them into about 100, 110 yards. They turn, walk away. So I was like, dang, it's going to be the same story all over again. Mm-hmm. So I decide, whenever I could see them walking off, I heard the gobble far away, I pick up that call, and I'm wailing on it hard. I'm trying to make, I don't know what the thought process was, but I'm hitting it hard, and for whatever reason, they liked it. They turn around, they come back. And it takes another very long time, but they're slowly coming in. And I look, and I can see both of them walking in almost side by side. And they're getting closer and closer, kind of pausing every now and then. But then it gets to a point where Andy Heath told me, if you're ever calling and they cut you off, just stop calling. They know where you're at. They're coming. So I hit the call. They cut me off. I set it down, and I'm just sitting there waiting. And for like 15 minutes, they're getting closer and closer and closer, and they're gobbling. And then there's a fence 20, 25, 30 yards in front of Dad, which is to my left. And you can see them. They're just slowly walking up, and they get right up on that fence. There's one that's right. He kind of took a little bit of a left turn. He's right in front of me. The other one's right in front of Dad. And so I'm already thinking, this is perfect. We're about to double up. This is going to be insane. I kind of got a good look at Dad's. He was stretching his neck up, but then I was like, I'm more worried about mine. I looked at him, had this amazing long beard, and I was like, this is a monster. This is the biggest bird I have and will ever see. Probably not will ever, but it was big. It was a big bird. And there's a hole in the fence right there where that turkey was at, where I later ran through to chase after them. We'll get to that part later. And then the gate is a little bit past Dad, more left. And so they split up and they start walking. I assume, they're about to go, that one's about to go through that hole, other one's going to go through the gate, and they're just going to keep coming. They're going to come right in front of us. We're going to double up. It's going to be great. As I'm thinking through all this, I reached down. My box call was kind of sitting up against my leg, and I went to set it on the ground so that I wouldn't accidentally bump it and it would make a squeak sound. And as I'm doing that, I turn away from Dad. I'm setting the call down, and then I hear boom, and I turned around. Dad shot. He racks it again, shoots again. I jump up with my gun, jump through that hole in the fence. No, I didn't jump through the hole. First, I just got up on the fence, and I shot. By that point, they're already like 100 yards out, so it's kind of an impossible shot to hit. They were gone. Off they ran. I walked all the way, just trying to see if maybe they would stop. We know this now. I didn't know this then, but if we would have just, after the first shot, just stayed quiet, sat back down, and called them back in, we would have had a chance. I thought that they were smarter than that.
We didn't know that.
And so I'm thinking this is our only shot, so I chase them out. We lose them. They're gone. We pack up. We go home defeated.
Yeah, so I didn't see the second turkey. The last time I saw the second turkey, they're about at 100 yards out or more. And I was set way back. I was trying to stay very, very camouflaged and unseen because I move too much. And I am trying to, if I can't sit still, I need to camouflage better.
Eliminating variables.
So I try to make for sure I was behind a lot of stuff and a lot of coverage. So I never saw both turkeys at one time. I knew there were two because you could hear two calling. But then at one point, I see one go, and then I see that other one, and so I assume that there's only one at this point. So once they get up close to the fence, I'm like, holy cow, he's right there, and I'm thinking there's only one. I assume the other one's gone because I don't see the other one. I'm behind this big bush, and I can't see him. Now I see the other one. I see him walk through, and I see his head, and I see him coming around the corner. But the second one I never see. And you say they were right there together, but for whatever reason, I never saw that. And so then that turkey comes through, and he's right there, and he pauses as he hits the fence, and I feel like he's looking at me. So I'm holding my gun down, but I'm not moving. And then he kind of stretches his neck, and I'm like, okay, here's, I think this might be my chance, because once he comes through the gate, then now he's past my left-hand side, and I was worried if he gets behind me, then what? Now, remembering, I don't see the second turkey. I think there's only one turkey, and I think I need to shoot this turkey because I'm on Keagan's left-hand side. There's no way he has a shot. Someone needs to shoot this turkey, and we need to shoot him before he gets behind us. So that's because I didn't know there was a second turkey, or else I might have let it play it out a little different. So when he clears, I shot, but I'm aiming for head. He has his neck stretched out. The only thing I can assume is as I shot, he ducked in his head maybe. I don't know. And I definitely aimed high. So obviously I shot over him. And
I didn't know that Dad didn't know you're supposed to aim lower neck, like right where the neck starts to meet the body.
Yeah,
nobody told him that. I assumed he knew that.
Once again, we're new at turkey hunting, and
I only knew that because when we went with Tyler and they got me on that Jake, he said aim lower neck.
Yeah,
but
yeah, we didn't have nobody tell me that, and so anyhow, I botched it. And I messed up the whole hunt, and it's all my fault. So I take that, and
wearing it proudly on his chest.
No, it's kind of embarrassing and sad, and now it's out there for the whole world to hear. But man, what a crazy thing! There is something, I don't know if you've ever been turkey hunting, but man, when you call and they gobble,
it's exciting.
There is something crazy fun about that. And to get them to come all the way in like Keagan did is that's crazy. And it doesn't happen like it took there for a while, because I wasn't calling. I don't even think I blinked for like 30 minutes. I just I was like, dude, do not move. And I'm just sitting there. The only thing moving was my eyes, and I was just trying to see if I could see them. Of course, it was neat how that fog was across that field, and they could stay back in that fog, and you couldn't see them. And then all of a sudden that fog lifted, and then there they were. So that's kind of a neat deal.
I think like the coolest thing for me, I didn't realize how long the process of getting them in is.
It takes a minute.
Obviously.
And they came from a long ways.
We've gone out with Tyler a few times here past couple years, and we've heard some gobbles, but there hasn't been like conversations and them getting closer and stuff like that. It's just kind of, and most of the time we call and there's no response. I guess it's a skill issue. Tyler's just not as proficient at calling as I am. I guess is what the conclusion I've come to. So I haven't got to see that part of it, see like how long it takes, how the conversation works, and yeah, it's exciting knowing like, hey, I'm literally talking to a turkey right now, and I'm convincing him to defy nature and come to me. For those of you that don't turkey hunt, the way turkeys work is the hen will make some noise, turkey gobbles to basically tell her where he's at, and then she goes to him. Your job as a turkey hunter is to get him so riled up that you get him to defy nature and come to you.
Yeah.
So it's already a hard thing to do, but now you're also trying to get the bird to do opposite of what its natural inclination is. So it's very hard, and now it's become, I think it's turkey's my favorite thing to hunt now because of how much skill is involved with it. I think I would like duck the most, but I've never tried it. But it's not like deer where you just sit in a blind and hope something walks out. There's you have a job to do. Deer hunting is just sit still and shoot them.
And here's the deal: in your job to do, you can mess it up easy.
Well, and you could do perfect, and the turkey something just throws it off, and he goes, "I'm not going to go that way."
That's true.
Like that first day.
Yeah.
He was 100 yards out, took a sharp 90-degree turn away from us and walked away.
Us and walked away. Yeah, like we were nothing.
So it's like I don't know what we did wrong there. It's weird, So turkey hunting, it's been a lot of fun. I don't know. I think it's cool to try new things and learn new things and have outdoor hobbies. So
it's been fun. I like going out and sitting in the woods, and the only thing bad is the 4 o'clock in the mornings. But other than that, it was good.
Yeah. But then like the best part about hunting like deer season's amazing because you get up super early, you hunt, you come home, eat, start watching football games, fall asleep.
college football, great
And you
time of
take
year.
the greatest naps ever.
Fall is the greatest time of year.
You wake up to the angelic voice of Kirk Herbstreit. It's just a great day.
Yeah, I get you.
So hunting's awesome.
Deer hunt, and then
and think of
breakfast,
how many of like our best memories are from hunting.
Yeah, it's good. I
If you have an opportunity to hunt,
it.
get out there, do it. Even if you don't have land, get on public land, because even when you don't kill or see anything or stuff like that, there's still just a lot of really cool memories.
Well, I'm telling you, on public land, you can still make it happen because the Antonosi's make it happen.
My buddy Anthony Antonozzi kills monsters every year, turkeys and deer, and they only hunt public.
Yeah, they are avid woodsmen. They've figured it out. They know how to do it, and they are good. They kill deer and turkey and
gators now,
fish and all kinds of stuff.
There's a picture of my buddy on Instagram. He's got this monster gator just on his shoulders, which is so cool. Crazy. He also has caught the biggest trout I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the biggest. There's something weird about its head. I've never seen a trout look like that. So anyways, he's just
abnormal.
They're just very skilled outdoorsmen. But we had a few comments on last week's episode. I'm going to read those real quick. The first is from Grandpa the Goat, Pat Buckles. His top 5 cities. Number 5, Savannah, Georgia.
Ooh.
Number 4, Memphis, Tennessee. He must have gone to Memphis at a different time than we did.
It must have been decades ago.
It must have been back in the 40s when everybody was nice and friendly still. Because when we went there, everybody, you could tell nobody wanted us there. It seemed like we were.
Memphis was fun. We really
had
a
good
time in
blast at Memphis. You
just didn't want to be out after dark.
No, and I don't care for Elvis at all, but seeing his house was cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was a cool house. Once I separated the house from the artist, it was really cool.
Yeah, it's neat. It was fun.
I wonder if I'm going to make anybody mad about that.
Who cares about Elvis? Nobody cares
about Elvis except for old ladies, I guess. Number 3, New York City, New York. Number 2, Pebble Beach, California. That's a course I'd love to play. I would lose every ball there.
Right.
Too much water. And then number 1, of course, he agrees with. I think yours was the same too, but he has Boston as the number 1. Was that your number 1?
Nope.
Okay, so me and Grandpa are in agreement. Number 1, Boston, the best city. The next comment we're excited about, a first-time commenter, Matthew Kahili, has joined the chat. But Matthew, by the way, incredible performance at the softball game last night. I was stoked to have him there. Every time he was on second base, we were talking, making jokes. He was really fun. I told him he was on second going to third, and there was a grounder that rolled in between. And I looked around and went, go, go, go. Trying to, obviously if he went, he would be out.
Right.
He turns around, he goes, you just believe in me that much, don't you? That's right.
He's a good dude, man. I'm excited that he's going on the men's retreat. So
he is?
Good. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I think so.
Well, number 5, he's got Knoxville, Tennessee. I've been there once, I believe, to watch the Nutcracker. One of my friends was in a Nutcracker performance, and she hooked me up with a ticket to that. That was pretty cool. But I haven't really explored Knoxville. Number 4, Greenville, South Carolina. I'm going to agree with you there. Greenville rocks. That's one of the few places outside of Texas that I would say I would love to live. Number 3, I don't know if I've been here. I assume I have. Apalachicola, Florida.
Never heard of it. Do they have Coca-Cola there?
I don't know. I'm hoping that I nailed that pronunciation. Apalachicola.
I don't know what a cola is.
Never heard of it. Hopefully he can give us more about this. Number 2, I have been here. Carlsbad, California, right?
Carlsbad, California?
Yeah.
Carlsbad Caverns.
He's maybe, is that not the same thing?
It's in New Mexico.
Where's Carlsbad? So I've been to Carlsbad Caverns.
You have been.
He put Carlsbad, CA, which makes me think California.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a city in California.
There he is.
We tend to try to avoid California. And number 1, this one was shocking for me.
Yeah.
I guess I wouldn't know if he's been here or not, so I don't know why I was even thinking I wouldn't have even thought he'd been there. But number 1, Austin, Texas.
Love Austin.
Austin was in my top 5 as well.
Yeah.
Hook 'em horns. Good. And then he also commented for a top 5 recommendation. He said, how about your top 5 books? And so we're asking you shall receive. That's a top 5 we're about to get into, our top 5 books. I think me and Dad went 2 opposite routes here. So this will be fun. Do you want to kick us off with your number 5?
Are we doing books now, or are we going to talk about the softball game?
Oh, I forgot we hadn't even talked about
the softball
that
game, and we've not talked about the men's retreat.
So Matthew,
how do we want to do those?
Matthew, we'll come back to your books here in a second. We can talk about softball real quick.
So last night we met at Roper Park at 5:00. You never know who's going to show up, but we always have a good crowd. And I love all the people that come just to watch. We have people that even come and watch that don't even have any, say, family members participating other than church family.
Well, and I can say this because they're probably not listening to this, but we even had a dedicated old people section.
That's what I'm saying.
Which I thought was cool.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. We had people that come and they have no attachment as far as except for that's my church family and they're playing softball, which I love. I love that they come and they watch and heckle and cheer and laugh and we have a good time, and we try to do our best to divide the teams equally. It'd have been nice if we'd had 3 or 4 more players to fill the outfield, because the outfield was pretty empty.
Here's the deal. Mindy's dad, I think it was.
Great guy.
Completely made it unfair.
He did. He was good.
He made that team. I mean, he put on a clinic. Batting every time. He went yard. He caught from the pitcher's mound, caught a few of my hits.
Yeah.
Just absolute nobody. When he walked in, I was like, I don't know who this guy is. Didn't expect him to be the best player there.
Yeah. Well, other than me, but yeah, it was good.
You actually did really good at batting.
We had a lot of fun, and so here's the crazy thing about it: most of us haven't played softball in more than a year. We haven't swung a bat. We haven't thrown a ball.
I haven't ran like that in a while.
We haven't had a ball hit at you, and so because you've not done that, man, the mechanics of that. You know, there are so many times there were individuals, including me, who might catch the ball, but then transferring the ball to my hand to throw it, man, it was just not natural, because we have not done that in a long time. Mickey Carver, he was gobbling up everything, but it's
like they were targeting him. I felt bad.
But he was struggling getting the ball out of the glove. Like he just, and a couple times he did. A couple times he did really good, but that's because it kept happening.
Yeah.
But, man, just the mechanics of it, if you haven't done it in a long time, man, you lose those mechanics.
Especially that dirt's not raked, so it takes wild bounces. There was a grounder that was hit right to me. I put my glove right where it needed to be. It hit a bounce, jumped up, and hit my kneecap. And this morning I was expecting to have a bruise, but you can see where the stitches of the ball are. It's like around my kneecap,
you should
which
take a picture of it.
Super cool. Yeah, I don't know how to throw up a picture on the podcast though. So
I'm just saying you should take a picture of it for memory's sake.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
Pretty cool. I didn't do as good as I wanted to batting. I'm not used to the underhand high lob pitches. Yeah. I would have rather done like a overhand slow pitch, because then it's like more of a line. You can actually, I don't know. I can't get underneath it. Obviously, it's a me problem because other people weren't struggling, but I couldn't get underneath the ball to save my life. I think I'm also significantly taller than some of the other people playing, so where those pitches are perfect for their strike zone, it was at my kneecaps. So I'm doing golf swings. So I basically did grounders every single time except for one line drive that went straight to the pitcher's mound, and he caught. It was an incredible catch.
Well,
I mean, I hit
but he even said that was straight self-defense. I was trying to keep from dying.
I hit a rocket, and it went so fast to him, and he just immediately put his hand up and catched it, and he's laughing. I'm pointing at him. He's very funny. There was a time I was on second base. He had to run to second. They threw it to me. I caught it, and he's coming at me with this psychotic anger face, and did he say something or just scream something? I
don't remember.
He implied that he was about to run me over, basically, and I screamed like a girl because.
So this guy is Mindy Bagwell's dad.
Well, it's like I don't know this guy. He could be serious. He could be actually about to run me over.
To kill me.
But he was hilarious and actually was a lot of fun to have. He seemed to mesh really well with the group, and I don't know. He made it more fun, which I think was cool. He at one point I was laughing. He was up to bat, and Trent was throwing something and asked him a question, like basically like where do you want it? And Trent said, I just want you to be comfortable. And he said, well, I'm not comfortable. So it was a good time. We had a lot of fun.
Well, and a big shout out to the girl that lives with the Carvers, Kenzie. I thought that's what it was. I'm a terrible name. Kenzie never touched the bat, never touched the ball, never touched the glove. Came out there and she caught a pop up foul ball, a couple of them, and she hit the ball with the bat several times.
Got on base.
Yeah, she did really, really good. And then even Sarah Grace.
Sarah Grace
did
she
good.
She was catcher and caught 3 foul tips.
Yeah, both of them did. Both of them caught foul tips. Both of them were throwing the ball good. Both of them were batting good. And just a big shout out to them for being willing to come out and try something new. Because the thing is with a lot of teenagers today, they won't try new stuff for fear of not being good at it. And what you just proved is they went out and they had a really they're not professionals by any means, but man, they had a good time. Yeah. And they contributed, and it was a lot of fun.
Well, and it helps. Like, one of the things I told John, he was, like, nervous about getting up to bat. I said, hey, have you been watching this game so far? Nobody hears. There's maybe one or two people here that are decent, but nobody here's good.
You're fine.
You're not going to make a fool of yourself. And, he ended up getting up there and getting on base. It's like,
and got thrown out at third base because he kept running, but it was great.
Yeah. Well,
some people got to learn when to stop.
The softball IQ definitely wasn't there at all. Well, but whoever was playing second for our team, I forgot who it was, they had 3 beautiful throws from the outfield to home plate that caused some outs, and I think he didn't get enough recognition.
I got you. Well, I'm sure that individual will make for sure they get what they need.
The first play, you got a grounder, threw it to second, we got a guy out. I looked over at the crowd. I said, "Why is nobody clapping?
Why are you not amused? Are you not entertained?"
It was fun, though. Yes. We had a great time.
But it's always fun. It's always good.
Well, it's also fun to see people that you only see in church now out doing some kind of sport.
Well, and you're hanging out with people in a different environment, so you kind of get to know them a little bit better. You learn really quick who your competitive people are. You learn really quick who your non-athletic people are, and you just learn some things. You know what I mean? That are a lot of fun. Your competitive people like you versus the people who they're literally there just to be here and have a good time. And
I'm there to have fun, but I'm also not having fun if I'm losing.
I get you. I believe winning is fun, so let's win. I get that. But a lot of people they're just happy to be out there. They're just glad to be there, and so we had a good time, and got to talk with some people and hang out with some folks that you may not get to do that as often. And so, man, I think that just leads into it and just makes it a really, really fun event. I had someone say we should do more softball, less volleyball. How
about an equal balance?
I say we can do an equal balance. And
instead of doing 2 seasons of volleyball every year and 1 game of softball, why don't we do a volleyball season and a softball season?
I'm fine with that if we want to put together a couple of teams and make that happen. I think it's a lot of fun. I think people really enjoy it. I think even the folks that are watching it, they really have a good time sitting there watching it. And kids running around, they're playing on scooters and doing all kinds of stuff, and it's just a lot of fun. And the weather was perfect. You couldn't have dialed or asked for better weather.
I could have asked for a little bit cooler.
Fantastic weather. The sun was shining.
Hot for me.
And it was just really, really good.
I'm already missing winter pretty bad.
Are you? Man, no. I'm okay with it being a little warmer.
55 degrees outside is perfect temp to me.
Well, I'm fine with that. I like the sun shining, though, and the sun was shining, and it was good, and a lot of folks there. So, and some new folks, which is good. It's always good when you get some new folks out there to hang out with us, and allows you a chance, an opportunity to get to know them a little bit better. And so it's good. Yeah, it was a good time. And
if you didn't come, make sure you come to the next one. Also, volleyball starts next Sunday, I think.
No,
so
next Sunday's bowling, team bowling.
I just canceled it this week because I thought you said volleyball was that Sunday.
Nope, it starts the 26th. I didn't start the 26th because somebody was doing volleyball. doing bowling.
Well, I told them Sunday that we were canceling because volleyball was starting that week.
Looks like we have an open Sunday. Yay! I'm going to take a nap. And next Sunday's the 19th.
Easter Sunday, I thought you announced next week we start softball and then the following week we start volleyball.
The 26th. So I did the 26th because you had bowling on the calendar. So I skipped that Sunday because I knew several teenagers like to play volleyball, but we wanted them to also go bowling. So
yeah, that's why I canceled bowling.
Well, I planned everything around.
Well, I've also people been asking me, and I've been telling them that volleyball's next week.
Well, it's not what I've been announcing. So the 26th is what I've been announcing for all you out there. Spread the word.
You had to have announced it wrong because I wouldn't have pulled that out of nowhere.
I say April 26th.
Because I also had teens approach me before I announced that saying, hey, volleyball starts the same night that we have teen bowling.
No.
So I'm not the only one that thought that. So I think you might have announced it wrong.
or you announced it wrong and got them kids all messed up?
No, a kid approached me before I ever announced it.
Gotcha. Either way, volleyball starts the 26th. So just spread the word, let people know. So, and then this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we're doing our men's retreat. I think we got about 10 men that are going to go up on Thursday night, and we're going to have a good time. And then Friday, we're going to do a big fish fry, and we want to encourage you to come. If you're men that live around here and you want to come be a part, call me and get with me. We'll get you lined out with where we're at, where we're going. But, man, I was talking to Jay, and he was telling me about his 3D archery range, and he says it's like golf. You start at one, and you shoot at say a boar, and then you go over there and get your arrows, and you score, and then from there you shoot to the next board. To the next animal. He's got 25 animals that you shoot at that go through the hollow that you go from one to the other, and it's like a walking type. Golf type deal. Go from one hole to the next kind of deal. Score and then move on. And so he said he's got a pavilion out there.
I haven't shot a bow since I was like 8 years old. There's no way I'm hitting anything.
Me neither. But he says he wants me to come because he says he's going to beat the socks off of me. I said, you are, because I've not shot a bow in more than a decade. I haven't even pulled a bow back in more than a decade. And so, but I'm going to bring my bow, and we'll see. It'll be fun. But anyhow, he talking trash. And but we're going to go. And so you can do that, or you can do shotguns, or you can go fishing. He said the best thing to do is take a lawn chair, stick it down there in the creek where it's nice and cool, where the water's nice and cool. He goes, just hang out there. He goes, that's the best thing to do down there is to sit out in the creek and go fishing in the creek. If you want to go fishing, you can sit down in the creek. You can swim. You can do shotgun. You can do bow. You can play football. You can play, what's the thing where you throw the sacks? Cornhole you can do. We're going to have a lot of things to do, so it'll be fun. It'll be good. Fish fry Friday night. We've got a special guest speaker, a local pastor there in Galesville, Alabama, not Jay, another guy. He's going to come and speak to us. I'm excited about that. That'll be fun. And the guys are going to play the guitars, bring their guitars. We're going to have a fire, big old bonfire. And then Saturday, just a bunch of different activities, whatever you want to do. If you want to do bow, if you want to do shotgun, you want to shoot, whatever, and just want to hang out. There's so much to do. And I just don't think we're going to have enough time to do it all. I think it's going to be that busy. It's going to be that crazy. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time. So.
All right, top 5 books as requested by Matthew Kahili.
Do
you want to kick off number 5 or you want me to?
You can do it.
My number 5 spot is, it's a book I listened to. I cheated. I did an audio book 2 weeks ago called All Quiet on the Western Front. It's about World War I. Really cool. I've always been fascinated by trench warfare, and it kind of talks about just how awful trench warfare was and all the stuff that comes with it. I thought it was really, really good. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm realizing Dad went the spiritual route.
Spiritual?
Those are all Christian-esque books. So now I've
got 3 more books, so just relax.
6? It's a top 5.
I got 2 more books. Just relax.
All right, kick us off with your number 5.
Number 5. I really don't know who my number 5 is, so we'll go with this. A book given to me by Clark Bozier. It's called In the Name of God, and it's about J. Frank Norris and George W. Truett, and it's just the history of Baptist and our history, and it's really, really good.
I'd like to read that.
2 of the men who really helped set that fundamental Baptist and get those things going. These were great men of the faith, did some really, really good stuff. Yet they were flawed and have their issues, but it's not a very long book. But it's a really good book if you're interested in and there's also another book called Criswell, which is another Texas Baptist. So about your Texas Baptist history, man, it's wrapped up in this book, and then man, it's a really, really good book. So I would say that's my number 5. Oh, by the way, I do want to say this. I'm not a big reader.
None of us are. I'm just now starting. And neither of us are good
readers. I like to read, but man, I'm just not a big reader, and so that's a struggle for me. I'm throwing that out there, just so y'all know. I'm not one of those guys that read 30 books a year or something like that.
Yeah.
I think the most I've ever read in a year is 15 or 16, and so I'm just throwing that out there. And mostly my stuff that I read is for further development in being a pastor and in ministry. So that's the reason why I really enjoyed this book, but it wasn't for the development, it's just for like knowledge. And so I thought it was really, really good. So anyhow, that's number 5.
My number 4 is another one I listened to recently. It's called Lone Star by T.R. Fehrenbach, I think is how you say it.
No, I don't know.
It's just about like all of Texas history.
I have the book right there. It's called Lone Star.
By T.R.?
I don't know. Let me go look.
I could have read the hard copy instead of listening to the audio. My issue is like I want to read, but I don't want to pay for books. Richardson. So it's a different one. I'll have to check that one out too. But yeah, that's my number 4. I got this thing where I could get a certain amount of audio books for free, and I just looked up books about Texas history, and that one popped up, and I said, cool, picked it, read it.
Love it.
But I've also read another book by T.R. Fehrenbach called Comanches. It talks about the Comanche Indians, which is really cool. The Comanche Indians are psychos. They've done some. They did some crazy stuff.
But we did some crazy stuff to them, so I don't blame them.
No, not at all. But
yeah.
I don't know. It was cool. Yeah. He's a cool author. He just writes a lot about different things about history.
Good.
But yeah, that's my number 4 that I picked.
So number 4 for me, we just did it, and we did a study on it in our Sunday school, but it was really, really healthy for me and for my own personal thought, my own personal growth, and that's by Kyle Idleman, Every Thought Captive. Very, very good book, and it's just the whole idea of how the devil's really busy about throwing some stuff. So Every Thought Captive and Enemy have it. Don't let the enemy have a seat at your table. Both of those would be really good to read together because that whole kind of thought of your mind thinking and him sitting at the table and all that stuff, all that goes really, really well together. And so if you want to put Every Thought Captive and by Kyle Idleman and Don't Let the Enemy Have a Seat at Your Table by Louis Giglio, both those books together would make a really, really good read when it comes to helping you in
mental fortitude.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really think most battles are lost between the ears. Like you lose it in the head, in your brain, in your thinking before it ever fleshes out. So many times, I think. So, so anyhow, that's my number 4.
My number 3 is one I heard these guys on a podcast talking about it. So it was the first book that I got with those. That deal I got, I'm only halfway through it. It's called Empire of the Summer Moon by S.C. Gwynn, I believe is how you say it. It's also about the Comanche Indians. I'm learning I knew very little about the Comanche Indians. Really cool stuff. They're very brutal, gruesome. Some of the stuff they did is crazy.
They're not tolerating the nonsense.
Yeah, no, they don't put up with nothing. But yeah, that's my number 3, Empire of the Summer Moon.
By the way, you do have a little bit of Cherokee in you.
Like a tiny, like maybe
tiny
1%.
Drop at this point. At this point, yes. Probably not even that. Probably very, very, very small.
Cherokees aren't near as cool as Comanches.
Cherokee, Comanches. I don't remember what all we have. We have some.
Like Navajo's cool too.
Navajo's pretty awesome.
The Code Talkers.
Yep.
So sick.
Navajo Code Talkers. So, my number 3 is a book. I'm not completely done with it yet. I just started it, and I can't even tell you who the author is. But the book title is called Shots Fired in Anger, and it's all about World War II and a sniper.
That was recommended to me.
Super good book. I have it at the house. That's what I've been reading.
I'd like to read
That's what
that.
I was reading at Grandpa's. Shots Fired in Anger. It's a book about World War II and about a sniper.
Is that massive book?
That's that big. It's crazy. It's like it's like a pamphlet, man. That thing is crazy big. I'm like, man. Even Haley was making fun of me. She's like, "What are you reading, Dad?" I go, "I don't know. It's a book that I saw. It looked really, really interesting, so I got it. It was only $10, and it so far it's worth $10, and it's just telling you about World War II in the Pacific realm and island battles and fighting. And of course, like I said, I don't know, it may turn out to be a terrible book, but the first 5 chapters have been fantastic.
Well, it's good enough to make your top 3.
Well,
Empire of the Summer Moon's been so good that I've decided I want to buy the hard copy, and I want you to read it when I'm done.
Oh, okay.
It's very interesting.
I'll do it.
For my number 2 spot, in all honesty, I put an entire series here. I've only read one of the books of the series. And so I'm a big fan of the Harry Potter movies. Gotcha. My favorite out of the movies is Half-Blood Prince. And so I borrowed a book from my friend I just specifically asked for Half-Blood Prince because it was the only one I was really interested in reading at the time. But now I'm realizing like how awesome those books are, so I want to get the whole series and read through those. But I put the whole series there. I've only read Half-Blood Prince because it's my favorite movie.
Gotcha.
In the Harry Potter series.
Yeah.
And my number one's going to sound very similar, but I'll pass it back to you.
Number 2.
I've read that.
And it's a series of books, but Charles Swindoll years ago went and did a series of books on character studies, Bible characters, and man, just a fantastic. And so I have all of them, and they start with, of course, Moses, and there's David, and there's Elijah, and there's
the Elijah one's good.
Esther, and there's
Paul,
Jesus. And so we have all of those, and they are fantastic. And so I'm going to just say, as a series by Charles Swindoll, his character. Great Lives from God's Word is what it's called. Great Lives from God. They're no longer in circulation, but if you do look, you can find them. And I think I found mine on. I had all of them, but maybe 2 of them, and I got those 2 as well. So I have them all, and I have the whole series.
Done several Sunday school lessons off those.
Done a lot of teaching out of them, and if you're a teacher, by the way, these are really good books. You can read a chapter, teach that chapter. I mean, it's really that good. And but it's Charles Swindoll, and man, it is good. I wish if you can get your hands on them, they have them, or for $1 million you can have mine. And
wow,
but it's really good. And so I'm going to say that whole series is my number 2. I have done a lot of learning from it. I've done a lot of teaching from it. And it has really probably been most impactful in my ministry have been these books. They've just been really, really good. So I really like them.
I have another series at my number 1 that I admittedly have not read all of. I listened to the first one, and then I decided that this is like a series that I should have the hard copies of. So I need to order those. I just haven't done it yet. My friend SBJ is a big fan of this book series and always is trying to get me to read it. So I listened to the first one, but it's the Lord of the Rings series.
Long.
Very long. That's why the first one, even in audio, it's just like, golly. Some parts you're like, this is taking quite a while.
A long while.
But I've gotten to where I don't really listen to music while I'm driving anymore. And so been doing a lot of podcasts
these days, yeah.
I feel like books would be a little bit better. I feel like it'd be better for, I don't know, like, is it cognitive thinking?
Yeah.
Because I feel like most of the podcasts I listen to are just comedy stuff. And so having something that's actually making me think.
Are we comedy stuff?
I think we're
boring
comedic informers.
There you go. That's us. Glad to know who we are.
But yeah, the Lord of the Rings series. I really want to get the hard copies of them. I'll get those eventually this year also. But I think in reality, out of the stuff that I've read, what I've actually enjoyed the most is that Empire of the Summer Moon.
Gotcha. Nice. Well, my number 1, I know you're going to say it's a cop-out, but it's the book I read the most, and it's the book that I study the most, and it's the book that I dig in the most, and I spend my life in, and you know, it's kind of what I do for a living. And so you can call it a cop-out, call it whatever you want, and y'all probably will too, but it's the Bible.
Those are scriptures and letters. It's not necessarily a book.
Well, either way, I'm in it, and I'm in it more than anything else, and I read it more than anything else, and I study it more than anything else. And so it has to be number 1 because it's the one I spend the most time in. It's the one that I read the most. It's the one that my whole everything is based around it. So I know you'll say that's a cop-out, but
it is, because it's scripture. It's not a book.
Either way, thank God for it. I'm grateful to have it, and it's probably had the biggest obviously clearly has had the most impact in my life, and most people, I would think would say the same thing. So there it is, number 1 best-selling book of all time, hands down, by far, the Bible.
Yeah, but those are our top 5. Matthew, you requested that we comment top 5 books. Drop your top 5 books in the comments, and maybe we'll read a few of those.
Yes, we would love to hear your top 5
We're looking for book recommendations. We're trying to get into that a little more, I guess.
I need to read more. I struggle. I'm a struggler. I struggle with reading. So, but I think reading makes you good. I've been told in 5 years, the only thing different that the only difference in your life that's going to be there is the people you meet and the books you read, they say. So read and meet people.
I think that's stupid.
If you're looking for a change. I'm just saying what they said. I don't remember who it was, but it sounded pretty brilliant to me.
That's just Big Book trying to sell more copies?
You think so? Maybe. Read your Bible. If you don't read anything, I don't read much, but I definitely try to read my Bible. So, all right. You going to wrap it up?
That is the end of this episode. Thank you for tuning in. Sorry about missing last week. There will be an episode next week. We'll be back on regular schedule. We need to get a guest in here soon. We haven't had a guest in quite a while.
Well, we were supposed to have one last week, but
I know.
That got botched.
It is what it is. Well,
yep.
we need to talk about it, maybe a new potential guest coming on. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this week's episode. We will see you this Wednesday back in full swing. We're not on break anymore. You have to be here. It's not optional. See you this Wednesday at church. Thank you for listening.
Men's Friday, Saturday, come join us.
Come join us.
It's going to be great.
Have a good week.
See you. Bye.
Bye.